How's it going, everybody? It's your old pal CHH. Come on in. We've got a really great one for you guys today. So I gotta give it to Michael Felcher, aka Slippy. You know, I was saying, like, I don't think it's gonna happen. We're not gonna get this thing till probably next year. And you know, some people actually even got it on Halloween. Listen, doing these releases, there's no doubt in my mind, this is an ungodly amount of work you have to do, an ungodly amount of hours you got to put in to doing stuff like this. So, you know, I can only be critical as a fan. I cannot say, like, well, they did this wrong or they did this wrong. The fact of the matter is, this is a labor of love to the absolute 10th degree. And we're going to talk about the new Trick or Treat release. Now, I don't know if this is completely sold out yet. If it is sold out, they will definitely, absolutely, unequivocally, positively do a standard version, and probably sooner rather than later. I know they're trying to capitalize, obviously, on this release, but there still may be some floating around. Check Synapse, check Diabolic, check Orbit, check those sites. There's always probably a little bit that's left behind, if I had to guess. But, look, I'm really excited to talk about this. So there was 3 versions. There was version A, which you can see right now. There was version C, which was a red palette, which I liked A and I liked B. I didn't really like C. I just didn't like the red. But, you know, it's not a knock on the art at all. I just like the red. So I went with version B, and I like version B. Version B has the font that you see in the movie for Trick or Treat. Some probably wanted the ones that had, like, the actual movie poster logo. But I like B. I went with B, and I'm really happy with B. So there you go. Look at that awesome shot of Sammy Kerr on the front there, man. That's just wicked cool. The reality is you couldn't go wrong either way. I mean, all 3 of them, I think, were at least 8 out of 10s art-wise, you know. So I'm happy. I'm very happy with B. I got mine off a Diabolic DVD. The Synapse website definitely crashed. Of course it did. I mean, I was thinking when it happened, like, yeah, guys, this was definitely going to crash. I don't know if they could have done anything about that at the time, but they got it up, they got it working, and they did their best to do. This was at least priority mail, I think, for everybody. Like, they really got these out in a couple days. There are some issues with some people that I know ordered that said that at the time of this recording, I'm recording this on November 2nd, that, like, they got the shipping notification a couple days ago, but it still hasn't moved, sort of thing. Mine didn't move for 2 days, and then magically it said out for delivery this morning. So if that is you, stand by. Don't worry about that. But listen, we're going to talk about the picture quality. We're going to talk about this release, all that good stuff. Just a few words about Trick or Treat. One of the most amazing things about Trick or Treat, without a shadow of a doubt, is definitely this right here. This is the soundtrack for the movie by a band called Fastway. I love this band. Fastway is a sensational band. This soundtrack is really a big part of what makes this movie so legendary, without question, which you get a CD with this release if you want to enjoy that music. But, yeah, absolutely sensational band Fastway. I'd like to use my modest platform to actually recommend you guys, because I am a musician and a lover of this era of music. There's a record called Bad Bad Girls from Fastway that came out in 1989, early 1990. Does not have the same singer that did the Fastway record, Trick or Treat record. It was a different singer, which that guy went on to do Flogging Molly years later. But it's the record Bad Bad Girls from Fastway. It's my all-time favorite Fastway record. Please check that out. I just want to use my platform to just shout that out, because I'm a huge fan of this kind of music. Sammy Kerr, the rock demon that comes back to life after, you know, dying, and this whole movie is through the point of view of a bullied kid. It's got a lot of those tropes we would see in movies where kids, like, they got horribly bullied. And in this movie, our star, which is the kid from Family Ties, gets just insanely bullied. There's a scene in this movie that just kind of, like, it's like, holy crap, where they invite him to he gets invited to a pool party, and the bullies see him there. They shove a weight bell in his backpack and push him into the pool, and he sinks to the bottom. He's trying to get the backpack off. He has kind of a love interest that, you know, eventually helps him and gets him out of there. But this movie becomes this incredibly great rock and roll nightmare when Sammy Kerr comes back to life through the uses of playing the records backwards that the kid has. And I'm going to be vague about this movie, because my money says that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to see this really for the first time. There was German Blu-rays that were available that were region-free, but I think a lot of people don't want to get those. They want to wait for something legitimate and official, and I understand that. But I'm going to keep it vague about this. this. This is really not a slasher film by any stretch. It's really a movie in the vein of like a Nightmare on Elm Street, those kind of movies, which I know people could say, well, Nightmare on Elm Street are slasher films, but they are, but that's like barely scratching the surface on what those movies are. These are really dreamlike movies, the Trick or Treat. It's in that same kind of vein. As a matter of fact, I think people involved with Nightmare 2 worked on this movie. So it's a great 80s hair metal, heavy metal horror movie with cameos with Ozzy Osbourne and Gene Simmons that you guys are going to love. I think you guys are really going to love this. This is a movie, when you watch it, you feel like you're seeing something of just great interest and great cult status just from the opening sounds of Fast Ways track that plays in the movie. It's sensational. This movie gets explosive near the end. There's all kinds of great effects work in here, and the performance of Sammy Kerr playing at the school is so great, and it's a daring movie, man. They did a lot of really cool stuff in this one. They had really prominent people working on this movie. It just did not resonate in the movie theater when it came out. It did okay, but it didn't have legs, and I think what that was just maybe the timing, but maybe just people were really not interested in this kind of movie. It wasn't, they wanted the blood and guts, they wanted the intense horror, and this is kind of like a really fun horror movie. So, I mean, obviously it stood the test of time, and that's fantastic. So, the packaging on this thing is really great, but before we get to that, let's talk about the picture quality. Let's talk about the audio quality. Number one, the picture quality on this is an absolute perfect 10. I think when you look at the stuff that Don May Jr. Does and his involvement, obviously that's the guy from Synapse. Although this is a Red Shirt Pictures release, this was clearly done in conjunction with Don May and Synapse, and Michael Felsher's talked openly about that. When people like that are involved, you bet your ass that the restorations are going to be done to the utmost degree. This movie could not look any better than what this looks like. It's absolutely fantastic. So in terms of picture quality, you guys have zero to worry about. It is going to look sensational. And I always cross-reference, so I took my old German Blu-ray that I have of it, and that one's okay. It's kind of like an upscale DVD, but this is like, from the opening shots, you're like, holy crap. So it's perfect. It looks absolutely great. The colors in this movie are very, very natural. And a lot of the movie takes place in the kid's bedroom, which is kind of like an upstairs attic looking room, which is poorly lit on purpose because it's supposed to give the feeling of just like a dimness and like a depressive state, because this kid, he's kind of depressed, he's constantly bullied, and he's, he retreats to his music. So the room's supposed to have kind of this almost dungeon-esque look up there, and that's where the 4K really goes to work and really just makes all that stuff have so much clarity and keep the authentic vibe of all that. So picture quality wise, I can't imagine anybody's going to have a lick of a complaint about how well this looks. And I'll tell you, man, a lot of the optical effects actually don't age that bad in this movie. Now, that's a movie-to-movie base case right there. Some stuff, like The Abyss, for instance, there's some optical stuff that just, it's jarring, and it almost looks better, those optical things, in lower picture quality because it is more compression, and it kind of flattens out that image a little bit, so you can kind of be tricked visually. But I'll say this, on this one, it was done very, very well. All the optical stuff with the lightning and stuff. So kudos just to the filmmaking on that, because that actually aged pretty good. But yeah, just a sensational one. This is a DTS release, so there isn't Dolby. I don't believe there wasn't Dolby audio on this. So the audio is really, really good. It's funny because I just did a review for Shocker, and that had the Dolby, and man, that music with the Paul Stanley and all that sounded insane. This sounds really, really good. I'm not complaining by any stretch of the imagination, but the super home run on this is unequivocally the picture quality. The audio is great. No complaints with it. The Fastway sounded great in this. I would have loved the Dolby, but I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, this is obviously a labor of love release, and the home run is the picture quality. So that being said, guys, let's actually look at what this release offers. If you got version B, here's your art. Obviously, the artwork is going to be similar. I mean, the packaging is going to be similar on the inside, but the box is where you're going to get the differences. That, like I said, that's the logo that you see in the movie credits when it's playing. And on the back, you got Sammy Kerr's hand flying through the speaker. That's pretty cool. Really great design on that. And let's take everything out. So what do we get? All right, so the first thing we get right here, guys, is obviously our lovely poster. And this is going to be great. I think people are actually going to want to hang this up. Look at that awesome shot of Sammy Kerr through the flaming jack-o'-lantern mouth, which just looks like the record. And on the back, this is the poster that's hanging up in the kid's bedroom. And it's a great poster. So, fun fact, they wanted to get AC/DC for this movie, and they couldn't get them. So that's when Fastway came in, because the record label was like, hey, take these guys. We got this really cool booklet for Trick or Treat. You got the lightning bolt cassette on the back, which was the big hint on Synapse. When people saw this, they were freaking out. That's when they were telling me, Christian, go to Synapse website. You know, so on the contents, we've got cast and crew, 1986, a year of making, Trick or Treat, Shout at the Devil, the Trick or Treat heavy metal horror. Oh, cool. So this is a really great behind the scenes kind of talking about the production of the movie, the stuff that was going on during the movie. I always love the books. The books I like to flip through as I'm, watching the movie. And Michael Gingold, I like his writing a lot. A lot of stuff you'll see in this stuff is with Michael Gingold in it. And he has a way of writing he really makes you feel like he's talking to you. So I always like it when I see Michael Gingold involved in stuff like this. So, yeah, really great book. Let's give it the sniff test. This one doesn't have a strong smell like Arrow Video and Second Sight books. And here's our Blu-ray case. Oh, wait up. There's more in here. Oh, it's on the inside of this. I'll show you this next. Here's our 4K case. I do like these kinds of 4K cases where it's just the clear cases that are really the size of a DVD case. It's kind of a throwback to the DVD kind of cases. I like this. You can reverse this art. The reverse art is kind of... let me see. I'll take out the CD, because you get the CD right there. Soundtrack. You get the soundtrack right here. I'll show you guys right there. That is the look of the vinyl for the Sammy Kerr vinyl. Here's your reverse artwork. I would have loved to have had the Lorimar VHS artwork for the reverse, but unfortunately that just did not happen. That's fine. I mean, that's just a preference. I still like that art, but as you can see, we've got 3 discs in here. You got your Blu-ray disc. Let me just take the 4K disc off. The 4K disc is great. It's got the shot of Ozzy on the TV. There's your Blu-ray disc. And your CD soundtrack. So, in a good case, they snap in really well. I like that they're not stacked on top of each other to keep from smudging and scratching. And, yeah. So, I like this case. This is something Synapse does, too. And we have a plethora of special features, but we also get these cards. You get the Synapse 2025 product catalog, which is nice. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up that Phenomena set from them. I didn't get it before. And I love that movie, and I think I want to get that. So with these cards, we do get a card that has the VHS artwork. You can even see it from Lorimar Home Video, now on video cassette. And it has... They look like cool lobby cards, old school lobby cards, which that's cool. I like the old school lobby cards. And each one has a poster for the movie. And on the other side's a lobby card. There's Ozzy. There's our 2 leads. Look at that one. That's really cool. Ragman. Ragman was the name of the movie overseas in a lot of markets, by the way, if you see that. Very, very cool. And there's Gene Simmons as the radio DJ, who is great in this movie as the radio DJ. So there you have it, guys. That's the plethora of stuff you get. Now, in terms of the special features, there's a lot of stuff to go over. I'll debrief you on all the things that are going to be of real interest to you. And then you can pause this to read over everything. But let's look at the back right now, and I'll tell you about the things that are of a lot of interest. So we have, obviously, limited edition chipboard slipcase. Featuring art by Justin Osborne, Devin Whitehead, and Sean Longmore. 4K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative, mastered in Dolby Vision, HDR10 compatible, and approved by Director of Photography Robert Elswit. Lossless English DTS master audio of the original 2.0 theatrical mix and an all-new 5.1 surround sound mix, which I watched this 5.1 for this. Audio commentary with director Charles Martin Smith, moderated by filmmaker Mark Savage. Audio interviews with writer-producer Michael Murphy and writer Rhett Topham, moderated by film historian Michael Felsher. Audio conversation with Paul Karup and Allison Lang, author of Satanic Panic. Pop Cultural Paranoia in the 1980s, Rock and Shock, which was actually a really great listen, by the way. I was super interested in listening to that, and I like that. Here's where the money is at. Listen up, folks. Rock and Shock, The Making of Trick or Treat, an all-new retrospective featuring director Charles Martin Smith, actors Mark Price, Glenn Morgan, Elise Richards, and Larry Sprinkle, writer-producer Joel Soyson, costume designer Jill O'Hannesson, assistant set costumer Francine DeCourcy, construction foreman Tom Jones Jr., special makeup effects artist Everett Burrell, music executive producer Stephen E. Smith, composer Christopher Young, and a special appearance by Gene Simmons. In the Spotlight, a tribute to Tony Fields, featuring interviews with the late actor's family and friends, Horror's Hallowed Grounds, which is awesome, with Sean Clark, After Midnight music video, theatrical trailers, TV spots, radio spots, and a lot of the old stuff that you would see from back in the day. Sensational. The documentary about Trick or Treat, guys, will answer every question you've ever had about this movie or would have while watching this. They did such a great job on this, and I have to say, this was 10 out of 10 worth the wait. A stupendous release. I'm very, very happy with this. They did a great job. What can I say? To do something like this where you give the fans really cool options with all these additives, that's to be commended. I like the fact that they gave us 3 options for artwork. I know some crazy people that, I say crazy in a loving way, mind you, that got all 3, and, if I could, I would, because they all are so cool, and I'm happy for people that can do that, and they let people do that, I'm actually going to keep the J card on this just because of how special this is. But, yeah, this is a fantastic release. I want to give a huge shout-out to Michael Felsher. This is RSV, Red Shirt V002. So this is the second thing Red Shirt Pictures has put out in conjunction with Synapse. Guys, you guys are going to love this. Amazing. This is going to be a great release. Is it the release of the year? That's the question. I think it definitely is a contender. I'd have to really sit down and think about this, but I think a lot of you guys are going to absolutely love this. So for now, I'm going to say I got to give this release 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts on the movie. Let me know which release you got and all that stuff, guys. The picture quality is great. You guys are going to love this. This is your old pal CHHing. Take care. God bless you guys, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.